Hello YouTubers! Today we're gonna test the retrocompatibility of the Xbox One Series X. For this tutorial, I'm going to start with some of the best games for the original Xbox, Xbox 360, then Xbox One, and finally Xbox One Series X. For some of the titles that run at 4K 60 frames per second, I'm gonna use my game capture Elgato 4K 60S Plus. This gaming capture can capture up to 4K 60 frames per second. For other games, like for example Ori, that runs at 6K 60 frames per second, and also Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War that runs at 4K 120 frames per second, I'm just gonna use the camera that I'm recording. Before we start the tutorial, I'm gonna show you how you can configure your Xbox One Series X to the best option to play at 4K 120 frames per second. First, you need to go to Settings, then you're gonna go to General, TV and Display Options. Then you're gonna select 4K if your TV supports 4K. Then refresh rate will be 120 Hz. If your TV supports 120 Hz, it will allow you. Then you can check under 4K TV details, and then here you will see that your TV supports 60 Hz, 120 Hz, and everything that supports. My TV supports everything except Dolby Vision. Sony does not support Dolby Vision, but it supports HDR10 video. Alright, now under video modes, here you can also select things that you don't want if you don't want them, and under video fidelity and overscan, if you want, you can, and if your TV supports. In my case, my TV supports 10-bit, so here you can change. By default it was 8, you can change it to 8. From 8 to 10, you can change it to 10. And then 12-bit, as far as I know, there is no TV that supports 12-bit, so just leave that one there. Just select 10, that will be the best for your TV if your TV supports that, and that will be the best settings for your Xbox One Series X. Now, before we start the testing, I was testing some of the Xbox One, the original Xbox games, and I found that some of them are not compatible. As you know, not all the games are compatible with this retrocompatibility. This is one of my favorites, Half-Life 2 for the original Xbox. Let's try to play that one and let's see what it does. So, as you can see, this isn't playable. So this game is not compatible with the Series X, and it's gonna do the same thing if you try this in your Xbox 360 or your Xbox One. So I hope there will be an update for this. I know Microsoft is adding more games. Here is Halo 2. This is a limited collector's edition for the Xbox One, for the Xbox, and this is one of the best games for the original Xbox, if not the best one. Let's see what this one does. As you can see, this one will take me to the Blu-ray player, like it's reading the disc as if it would be a Blu-ray. It's prompting me to download the app to play it as a Blu-ray. So now you can see that not all the games are compatible with the Series X. Now let's play Conker Live and Reloaded for the Xbox. Let's start with one of my favorite games, Conker Live and Reloaded, launched on June 21st, 2005. This game is a remake of Conker Bad Fur Day, launched on March 4, 2001 for the Nintendo 64.
Hi, you've reached, Barry's place. I'm not available to answer the phone, obviously. However, if you leave your, name and number and you sound cute, I may ring you back. Ciao.
Hi, Barry. Hello? Barry, if you dare pick up. Hello? Oh, anyway, look.
I'm gonna be a bit late. Well, met up with a couple of the guys and they're off tomorrow to some, I don't know, fight some war somewhere. Anyway.
I'll see ya. Love you.
I think she bought it. Conker, put the phone down.
The game offers two modes of play, the remade version of the single-player Conker's Bad for Day and a first-person shooter multiplayer mode. In the single-player version, you play as a Conker, a squirrel with a bad attitude and a drinking problem. The game starts with Conker waking up lost and with a severe hangover after a night of heavy drinking. His goal is to find his way home and back to his girl, Barry.
I'll go this way. Oh, no, that's the toilets. No, this way. Yeah, that's better. Oh, it didn't look too good tonight. Ooh, hang on a sec. Sorry about that, old chap. Gotta go. Can't quite make it out. Anyway, it seems pretty familiar to me. Come on, quick. Quiet, be quiet. Be quiet. Huh? What's that? This way, I suppose.
What's that? Hey. Who are you?
Oh, hello. Can you help me? I need to get home and go to bed because I don't feel very well at all.
Oh, no.
Oh, so you can't help me at all?
Actually, yeah. Yes, I can. Maybe.
Okay. What's your name?
Beardy.
Beardy? You haven't got a beard.
No. Beardy. I scare birdies.
Okay, Birdie. So can you help me?
Right.
I think this is enough for this game. Let's play another one. Now let's play Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. What can I say about this game? It's an awesome game. As a kid, I really enjoy it, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time was released on November 18, 2003. There will be a remake of this game next year for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows.
Most people think time is like a river that flows swift and sure in one direction. But I have seen the face of time, and I can tell you, they are wrong. Time is an ocean in a storm. You may wonder who I am and why I say this. Sit down, and I will tell you a tale like none that you have ever heard. Know first that I am the son of Shahraman, a mighty king of Persia. On our way to Azad with a small company of men, we passed through India, where the promise of honor and glory tempted my father into a grievous error.
No, my son.
Your Majesty, I trust you will remember your promise. The Maharaja's treasure birds.
Do you think I felt regret as I gazed upon the destruction we had wrought? Or at least humility at the speed with which a world can be transformed from a good world into a hell? If you think so, you are mistaken. For in that moment I thought of one thing only. The honor and glory I would bring my father by fighting like a warrior in my first battle.
The combat on this game feels really good. I love the way they incorporated the princess acrobatics into the fight, allowing you to flip through the air or stylish finishes. You can also freeze enemies when surrounded to allow you to focus on one at a time, or freezing all of them, allowing you to zoom around and quickly kill them. The soundtrack on this game is also awesome, incorporating classical Middle Eastern influences. Overall, this game just gets better over time. It has a revolutionary platforming and animation quality, great combat mechanics, and a rewind feature that was something that I had never seen it before. Ahora vamos a jugar Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
How you been, Carl? How's your wonderful family?
I'm here to bury my moms. You know that.
Yeah, I guess I do. So what else you got shaking, Carl?
Nothing. I live in Liberty City now. I'm clean. Legit.
Nah, you ain't never been clean, Carl.
Well, what do we got here?
This is a weapon, Officer Pulaski, that was used to gun down a police officer not 10 minutes ago. Officer Pendleberry. A fine man, I might add. You work fast, nigga.
You know I just got off the plane.
Well, that's a good thing we found you and retrieved the murder weapon.
That ain't my gun.
Don't bullshit me, Carl.
Yeah, don't bullshit him, Carl.
What the fuck you want from me this time?
When we want you, we'll find you. In the meantime, try not to gun down any more officers of the law.
Y'all can't leave me here. This baller's country.
I thought you said you was innocent, Carl. Shoot on bang.
This is car 58.
See you around like a donut,
What?
Carl.
Officer Pendlebury's down. We'll be right over.
See you, Hernandez.
Oh, shit.
This game marked me during my adolescence. I remember beating this game more than once. It was one of the best games for that generation, and it was re-released for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. This game was inspired by US cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco. The neighborhood where the main character Carl lives looks like a city called Compton, which is an African American neighborhood in Los Angeles. The gameplay of this game is impressive. You can do literally everything in this game, from driving a car to a jet backpack. Can you imagine? It is the longest of all GTAs that came out so far, even longer than GTA 5. This game pushed the PS2 and Xbox to the limits. Having seen those graphics at launch was a unique experience that no one of my generation will forget. The music was a big part of this game, and also the story. All GTAs have a good story, but this one had one very particular. The main protagonist is Carl, who comes to town for his mother's funeral. He reunites with his friends, his brother, and form a gangster squad. They work together as a team, join other gangsters, break the law, and destroy the entire city. Now let's play Grand Theft Auto 4. It was released on April 29, 2008. I played this game as an adult. I enjoyed it so much. It's a masterpiece. One of the best GTAs I ever played so far. The main character in this game is Nico Bellic, a Yugoslav war veteran who comes to the US in search of the American dream. The game takes part in Liberty City. This city was inspired by New York. The game has a great story, excellent gameplay, and also introduces us to a new way of playing. In this game you will have a new way of covering yourself to avoid enemy bullets. You can take cover behind cars, buildings, and other things that can serve as a shield to protect you. Also, this game has one of the longest stories, a lot of exploration, many weapons, and the best of all is that you can play online with your friends in multiplayer where you can play up to 32 players at the same time. You can also do missions, break the law, destroy the entire city, and have a lot of fun.
Yes, he's got the love. House, women, cars, parties. He writes me these wild emails, and after I got into trouble, I thought maybe, And then I got this gig, and I spent the next 7 months with you fine people, and I forget. After the war finished, I couldn't get a job. Nobody could. So I did some dumb things, got involved with some idiots.
Ah, we all do dumb things. That's what makes us human.
Could be.
Hey, Entschuldigung. Der amerikanische Traum.
What? Good to see you, man. What? You forget our language?
The pussy? Maybe a little. I've been here 10 years. You can speak English. Remember, we went up the English shows with the big...
Literal. Not so
You'll be fine. Better than my Serbian. Ah! So good to see you, cousin. I can't believe you made it. Shit. I have to tell you. It quite a night last night. 2 women. The land of opportunity. Ah! I've made it. Oh. Shit, they still a touch drunk. My cousin is here!
Oh,
we got to rule him
come on, relax.
Whatever, buddy. Just take over the world someplace else,
Yeah,
all right?
buddy.
You're in the goddamn way.
Screw you all! My cousin is here! Nico Bellic! He's the fucking man! Bitches!
Roman, come on, let's go. To the mansion, huh?
Yes, the mansion! Maybe you should.
Maybe I should.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, is this a cab? Where's the sports car?
He's in the shop. Come on! Let's place on Mohawk. He's just up the road. I'll let you know when we're there.
До сибирских морозов похоже. Пусть кто-то делает громкие дела как можно тише. Ты будешь делать то, что должен. Ты должен выжить. И если заварить, то крутая будет каша.
Why don't you show me around the city?
Fucking terrorists!
What?
Terrorists! There's been a big scare and you can't cross the bridges so good. You without the visa, I would stay in Broker. Fucking stay in Hove Beach. Everyone like us does. We are passing the cab office, Nico. This is the business that will take us to the top of the pile. Nico, you ever had two women at once? Or titties to be playing with? Мисля сам да ти и отичи рай, човечек.
Не мога да кажа, да имам.
Gossip, it's been too long. You should have come out earlier. Think of all the girls you've been missing out on.
Our country has women too. This is the mansion?
Just a temporary place. The mansion is coming, cousin. That's the dream. Follow me.
Ahora probaremos Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal was released on March 20, 2020. This game received 5 nominations at the 2020 Game Awards, including Game of the Year. Personally, I am a big fan of Doom since the first game, Doom, that was released in 1993 for the PlayStation and Super Nintendo. It was a revolutionary game in the 90s, one of the first-person shooters, and it is one of the best games I ever played. This game is a sequel of the previous game Doom, released in 2016. The story takes part after the events of this game. Our main character is Doom Slayer. This assassin, an ancient warrior who fights against the demonic forces of hell. And finally, we're gonna test Ori and the Will of the Wisp. This is an awesome game. This game received an upgrade for the Xbox One Series X. As you guys know, this game came out for the Xbox One. This is the collector's edition of the game, that's why we have an steel book. If you haven't watched the collector's edition unboxing, I'm gonna leave that under the description of the link under the description of this video. I did the unboxing a few months ago and it's an awesome collector's edition. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it because this is an awesome game. This is a sequel of the game Ori and the Will and the Blind Forest. That one was also a cool game. It was back in 2015 and it was developed by Moon Studios and published by Microsoft Studios. That game was released for the Xbox One, for the Microsoft Windows, and for the Nintendo Switch. Was released later, I think it was last year. And now we have this awesome game that runs at 6K 60 frames per second. How awesome is that? I think this is a game that runs at the max resolution of the Xbox One Series X. I think that is really cool. I really love that. Let's start this game and let's see, because this is an awesome game. This game reminds me of Rayman. I don't know if you play that game, but I think the gameplay of this game is very similar to Rayman. So I really like those adventure games and I think it's really, really cool. I think Ori has a very good story. Let's see, where do we need to go? Right here. Oh, his friend. Cool. She's learning how to walk. Huh. Huh. Wow, that was a cool painting on the wall. Now they're sleeping together. Wow, it has a very, very awesome story. I really like it. Today we'll learn more about the retrocompatibility of the Xbox One Series X. We learned that not all the games are compatible with the Xbox One Series X. So if you can, keep your original Xbox, your 360, because not all the games are going to play on the Xbox One Series X. I hope you find this video helpful. please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe for more unboxings, tutorials, gaming content, and the best video games. Take care, I will see you guys in the next video.